So this morning on my way to work, I decided to take some inspiration from my favorite preacher, Rev Otabil. Yeah, he is the GOAT. Yeah, so this preaching was from a sermon he made in 2009. Sermon was about was based on Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 11, where he was saying a time and a chance happened to us all, and he cited an example of Queen Esther taking up a challenge and using that challenge to save her people, and that got me thinking about the whole Esther story. But before we go into that, I would like to play that video so we watch, and I would come back and talk about the Esther story.
Too much demanded from, that is opportunity. How many of you wish that one day you will be a great person in Ghana? You want to be great in Ghana? Would you want to be remembered as the savior of Ghana? Wow. The history books will write about you and say, in the year 2009, there was such and such a person and he saved Ghana. But how are you going to do that? You're going to have opportunity. There's a lady in the Bible who had that opportunity. Her people were going to be destroyed. Her name is Esther. Her people were going to be destroyed. But she had a very comfortable life because she was in the palace as the queen of the king. And her people were servants in the kingdom, and they were going to be cleared out, decimated. She thought she was comfortable until she heard a challenge to her. Go tell the king about what is happening so that we'll be free. And she says, it doesn't happen that way, because if you go without invitation, you die. The second word that comes to her is, don't think you'll be free. If you don't go, destruction will come and you will get it too. Or if God saves, he will save, but you would never enjoy it. So she says to the people, I will go. I will do what is dangerous to do. And if I perish, I perish. And she became a redeemer of a nation. Challenge.
So if you're not familiar with the Esther story, if you didn't go to Sunday school, like some people, when they were asked to go to Sunday school, they ran away. The Esther story was basically, chapter 1 started with King Ahasuerus. He was one of the powerful kings, Median kings or Babylonian kings, and he was married to this queen called Vashti, and he called Vashti to come and meet his people, and Vashti disrespected Ahasuerus, and Ahasuerus got infuriated, so he decided to divorce or dethrone Vashti as the queen. And out of that, the people or the Persian wise men decided to gather all the virgins in the kingdom and appease the king with the virgins in the kingdom. Then one after the other, they would choose a queen from these virgins. So basically that is how the story started. So in the chapter 2 of the book of Esther, verses 12 to 14, this is what it says. It says, now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that he had been 12 months according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purification accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for purifying of the women. So basically, before they went to the king, they had to use 6 months to purify them so that they smell good for the king. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the women and unto the king's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name. So basically, that is how that's what Esther went through before she was, chosen as a queen, and subsequently used that opportunity to save her people. This video is not about the preaching, but this video is something that came into my mind this morning, and I want to talk about it. So I sat down and made a quote out of this, story. So in my first quote, I said that sometimes corruption, that is according to the standards of the society. What corruption is according to the standard of the society is the only utilitarian approach for survival. So this is to say that sometimes things that we eschew or we see as bad behavior are what will save us when trouble comes, or when there is chaos, or when there is there's chaos. For example, in the French Revolution, through the French Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte used that situation to become the most revered military man in the history of France. So these are some of the things that I was trying to put out, that sometimes what we think is corrupt is actually what will save us. And even in this situation, I mean, Jews were not even allowed to marry or even have consummation with people outside their race, people outside their people, outside their bloodline. But in this situation, they had to use one of their people to go and appease the king, the most powerful man at that time, so that eventually this man will use, this person will use her status to save the Jewish people. So my second quote was Esther, before she became a queen, had to sleep with King Ahasuerus, who was a king they were trying to appease, to save her people. I'm sure some of her people thought she was a traitor for sleeping with a Babylonian king as a virgin. I mean, I'm not slut-shaming, but she basically slept her way up, and that is fine. Technically, she is the original slave queen. Anyway, that was just to make fun of the situation, but technically, she slept with a man she wasn't married to, and she later became a queen of that powerful man. So in this case, my question I'm asking is, if someone becomes a concubine or a mistress of a powerful man and use that power to save her family or save her people, should we celebrate her or we should condemn her, like how this society does, especially as Christians?
Go and ask your grandfather.
And just to be clear to all Christians out there watching this video, I would like to let you know that the name of God was not even mentioned in the book of Esther. So it's more like a political account of how, which links into the genealogy of Jesus Christ. Anyway, the name is ADB, and that was my opinion. I didn't come to fight.
I beg you.
Out, dismissing. Hasta la vista.
And we say bye-bye.